Deep in the heavy silence of a remote workshop, tucked away in the Brazilian countryside, a man sits alone. Before him lies a piece of rotted, gnarled wood, the kind of debris anyone else would toss into a fire without a second thought. But through his eyes, it isn't waste. It's a masterpiece waiting to breathe. He sees the hidden curves, the souls trapped in the grain that the world is too blind to notice. But here's the tragedy. The moment he steps out of the shadows and into the roar of the crowd, this gifted craftsman shrinks. He begins to doubt his own hands. He feels like an outsider, constantly haunted by the same question. Why am I so different? Why am I so complicated, so anxious, so strange? Have you ever seen your own reflection in that man? Do you carry a soul heavy with the thunderstorms of deep thought, constantly punishing yourself for being odd in a world that seems so painfully flat? Perhaps you've spent your whole life apologizing for your intelligence, mistaking the weight of your mind for a flaw in your spirit. But let me reveal a secret from the deepest corners of neuroscience. That anxiety, that restless doubt, those long nights spent staring at the ceiling, they aren't signs of a broken mind. They are the roar of an intellectual fortress operating at its absolute limit. It's not a system failure. It is a superpower waiting for its blueprint. Today, through the lens of Stoicism and the cutting edge of brain science, we aren't just going to decode who you really are. We are going to flip the script. We're going to turn that silent ache into the sharpest weapon you've ever held, so you can finally conquer your life. Brace yourself. The journey to the center of your mind has never been this intense. Step with me into a sterile operating room in the heart of bustling Sao Paulo, where the line between life and death is as thin as a single strand of hair. There we find Dr. Ricardo, a man who has spent 3 decades conquering the most vicious tumors, standing silently at the scrub sink. His hands, though they have saved thousands of souls, tremble for a split second. It's not age. It's because he understands, deeply and bone deep, every variable and every hidden risk lurking behind the cerebral membrane. In sharp contrast, the young intern beside him whistles with a hollow confidence, his eyes burning with the arrogance of a fresh, prestigious diploma. He believes he has mastered the human body, while Ricardo knows he is merely a beggar, trying to decode a vast, mysterious universe. This is the cruel paradox of intelligence, imposter syndrome. In neuroscience, we call it the Dunning-Kruger effect. The shallow often stand on the summit of ignorance, shouting their fake confidence because they see nothing but their own shadow. But you, the one carrying a superior intellect, you constantly feel like a fraud. What? Because your brain is refined enough to perceive the sheer infinity of knowledge. You stand before the ocean and shudder because you can see the crushing depth of the abyss, while everyone else just sees a flat, calm surface. Remember this, your anxiety is not a sign of weakness, it is a hymn of great humility. You aren't inadequate. You have simply traveled far enough to see just how vast the sky really is. Don't let the confidence of the ignorant shake your foundation, because in the world of Stoicism, recognizing your own limits is the very first step toward claiming your true power. In the frantic pulse of Faria Lima, the financial heart of Sao Paulo, thousands are spiraling before glowing red screens and numbers dancing in chaos. Yet, amidst the panic of a sudden market collapse, one person stands perfectly still. This individual didn't need a crystal ball to see the storm brewing months ago. They saw it through a microscopic glitch in a consumer chart, a tiny rhythm out of sync that every other expert ignored. This is the raw instinct of a pattern hunter. Or look at the quiet grace of a Brazilian mother. With just one glance in the rearview mirror as she picks up her child from school, she feels a jagged crack in the child's soul, even while they smile and recount the day's soccer match. She doesn't see the surface, she feels the invisible threads vibrating in pain. Do you recognize yourself in these moments? Have you ever suddenly spotted a fatal logical flaw in a billion-dollar contract? Or sensed a hollow lie buried beneath a sweet compliment that everyone else accepted as gospel? Neuroscience reveals a staggering truth. Your brain is not just a storage unit for data, it is a high-performance prediction machine. While the rest of the world sees only scattered, meaningless fragments, your neurons are secretly weaving them into a tapestry of meaning, connecting dots that ordinary people consider completely irrelevant. In Stoic philosophy, this is what it means to touch the logos, the hidden, underlying order of the universe. You don't just look at the world, you see through it. The ability to detect patterns and errors that the blind masses ignore isn't paranoia. It is the privilege of a sharp intellect that is simply ahead of its time. Do not fear this sensitivity. Those invisible threads you see, they are the compass that will guide you through every maze of your life. The clock strikes 2 a.m. While the bustling city of Sao Paulo has finally surrendered to deep sleep, a nuclear reactor, is still burning white-hot in the silent darkness of your room. That reactor is your mind. You lie there, restless, dissecting a cryptic comment from your boss earlier that afternoon, or a strange silence from a partner during a meeting. The world outside tells you to just stop thinking. They call your sleeplessness a modern sickness, a pointless waste of energy. But they are wrong. They can't see the symphony of neurons dancing at maximum intensity inside your skull. In reality, you aren't just blindly worrying. You are operating a working memory system with the bandwidth of a supercomputer. Neuroscience reveals that elite brains often possess a massive RAM capacity, allowing them to hold dozens of variables at once. While everyone else sees a single linear path, your brain is running 5, maybe 10 parallel simulations of reality. You are analyzing every nuance, predicting every risk, and silently optimizing the future before it even happens. Never apologize for thinking too much. In Stoic philosophy, the act of visualizing every possibility, premeditatio malorum is exactly how you forge an unbreakable spirit. You are not a slave to your thoughts. You are the master architect, meticulously redesigning your life in the dead of night. This restlessness isn't a system glitch. It is the proof of an intellect far too vast to ever be satisfied with shallow, mediocre answers. Imagine you are in the heart of a pulsating party in Rio de Janeiro, where the feverish rhythm of samba merges with the sharp scent of cachaca and the roar of laughter echoing through the night. Everyone else is lost in shallow connections, but you, carrying a soul older and deeper than the rest, quietly slip away to the balcony. You stand there under the star-studded southern sky, breathing in the cold sea breeze, searching for a moment of absolute stillness. The people inside might whisper that you are aloof or eccentric, but they don't understand that you are performing a sacred ritual, the resurrection of the intellect. From a neuroscience perspective, a highly analytical brain doesn't just receive information. It simmers and processes it at a level so deep, most people will never touch it. For you, solitude isn't an escape from society, it is an essential charging station for your neurons. After a long day besieged by thousands of stimuli, chaotic sounds, and frantic emotions, the drawers of your mind are cluttered. The very second you are alone, your brain activates a profound reorganization. It gathers those fragments of data and begins turning the cacophony of reality into pearls of wisdom. In Stoic philosophy, we call this returning to the inner citadel. You need the silence to hear your own voice above the noisy crowd. Never feel guilty for craving these moments of detachment. It is in the darkness of solitude that the greatest sparks of a new idea finally catch fire. You are not alone. You are simply preparing for a comeback more powerful and more insightful than ever before. Step with me into a high-rise office on Paulista Avenue, the beating financial heart of Brazil. There sits someone in a position millions would kill for, a staggering salary, elite benefits, and a future so stable, you could map it out for the next 20 years. But in the middle of those lavish boardrooms, a hunger begins to gnaw at them, not for food, but a raw, primal intellectual starvation. And then, to the shock of their family and the stinging labels of delusional from friends, they walk away. They step out into the world with nothing but their bare hands and a soul on fire, searching for something the world calls risk, but they call life. Do you recognize that rebellion within yourself? When the rest of the world worships stability, do you see it as nothing more than a comfortable grave? Neuroscience calls this stimulus hunger. A high-capacity analytical brain doesn't run on repetition. It thrives on the dopamine of discovery and the friction of unsolvable knots. When you feel that desperate boredom in an environment that's just too easy, it isn't a sign of laziness or a lack of discipline. It is a red alert screaming from your neurons. You have evolved far beyond the gilded cage you're standing in. Your brain is starving for the nutrients of a true challenge, and if that hunger isn't fed, that intellect will eventually turn inward, devouring itself in the form of depression. In Stoic philosophy, we understand that comfort is the enemy of virtue, of arete. A great intellect is like a razor-sharp blade. If it isn't tested against the hardest stones, it will rust into nothingness. The boredom you carry is not a flaw, it is a proud, evolutionary signal. Do not be afraid to leave the mediocre behind to seek new peaks. Because for a mind like yours, stability isn't a goal, it's the clinical death of genius. Picture a morning in a quiet apartment in the Jardins district of Sao Paulo. The hum of the shower mingles with a low, steady voice, sometimes racing, sometimes pausing, sometimes arguing fiercely with itself. A neighbor passing by might frown, wondering if you're finally cracking under the weight of life. They hear you whispering through a billion-dollar strategy or a life-altering pitch while you're just trying to brush your teeth. To the world, this is eccentricity. It's a red flag of instability. But they have no idea. Beneath that running water is an intellectual laboratory running at max capacity. Neuroscience calls this vocalized self-talk, a high-level executive tool that only the most complex analytical minds truly master. When you speak your thoughts out loud, you are performing a cognitive miracle. You are pulling abstract, chaotic ideas out of the black hole of your mind and turning them into tangible, structured reality. You aren't just thinking, you are materializing your vision. This isn't madness. This is the sacred ritual of legends like Albert Einstein or Steve Jobs. They didn't wait for the world to agree. They debated themselves to forge the truth. In Stoic philosophy, speech is the physical manifestation of logos, pure, unadulterated reason. In these moments, you are playing both the master and the apprentice, the general and the soldier, drill sergeanting your own thoughts into formation. So let them stare. You don't talk to yourself because you've lost your grip on reality. You do it because your mind is far too vast for silence to ever contain its greatness. Imagine the darkest days, when the pandemic swept through the vibrant streets of Rio, turning bustling markets into hollow, terrifyingly silent corridors. While millions drowned in panic, desperately clutching the shattered fragments of a past that was gone forever. Somewhere, a lone figure sat in a small room, eyes burning with a strange, fierce conviction amidst the gloom. They weren't mourning the manager title that had just been ripped away. Instead, their hands were moving frantically, sketching a brand new business model from the very rubble of their reality. This is extreme adaptation, the secret weapon of the world's most brilliant minds. Under the lens of neuroscience, this is the most radiant expression of neuroplasticity. While the masses' brains are frozen by a flood of stress hormones, your neurons are conducting an underground revolution. They are automatically severing ties with old habits and weaving entirely new neural networks in the blink of an eye. You don't cling to the past because you understand that the world is an eternal flow, and your identity isn't found in a job title, but in your power to restructure your very soul to match the rhythm of change. In Stoic philosophy, we call this the art of turning the obstacle into the way. Your ability to see a wide-open door where others see only a brick wall isn't coldness. It is the proof of an intellect that has reached absolute freedom. When the world collapses, you aren't just a survivor. You are the ultimate architect, the one who knows exactly how to take the broken bricks of yesterday to build the fortress of tomorrow. Picture a silent night in a small house deep in the heart of Curitiba. While the rest of the world has surrendered their breath to a deep, heavy slumber, a lone silhouette remains, laboring under the glow of a flickering lamp. You aren't scrolling through social media for cheap, hollow hits of pleasure. You are plunging into a black hole of understanding. It starts with a simple, almost innocent question. Asterisk, why do the ants in the garden march in such perfect lines? Asterisk, and somehow, hours later, you find yourself dissecting the intricate, jagged cycles of the Brazilian economy over the last decade. The world calls you unproductive or idle. But in reality, you possess the most sacred treasure of humanity, the curiosity of a child. The chasm between a mediocre mind and a brilliant intellect isn't found in the number of answers they have. It's found in the sheer depth of the questions they dare to ask. While the masses are satisfied with the what, you are haunted by the why. Neuroscience reveals that this boundless curiosity is the literal fountain of youth for your neurons. Every time you refuse to stop questioning, your brain floods with dopamine, keeping your neural networks primed, alert, and, most importantly, refusing to ever truly grow old. In Stoic philosophy, this is the grand pursuit of physis, the very nature of reality. You don't accept the world as a static, finished product. You see it as a colossal puzzle waiting to be decoded. Don't you ever let that fire go out just because of the judgment of those who surrendered to ignorance long ago. Remember that odd curiosity is the only thread connecting you to the greatest secrets of the universe. It is what transforms your life from a mundane routine into an enchanting, endless expedition with no horizon in sight. Imagine a violent storm howling off the Atlantic coast, massive waves poised to devour everything in their wake. But deep in the eye of that storm stands a lighthouse, perched upon a jagged cliff, unshakable against the gale. This is the image the Stoic masters want you to etch into your soul. The mind is your impregnable fortress. Never let the whispers, the shallow judgments, or the ignorance of the world outside crack those ancient, solid walls. If in our journey today you recognized at least 5 of these 8 signs within yourself, stop. Take a deep, slow breath. Never apologize for your complexity. Never again label yourself as weird or just anxious. In truth, you aren't broken. You are a masterpiece of creation in the middle of a painful yet glorious refinement. Those rough edges the world mocks? Those are simply the facets of a diamond, waiting to catch the light and shine with a brilliance they can't even imagine. My friend, here in Brazil, we know that true strength doesn't live in solitude. It lives in the connection of kindred spirits. How many of these signs do you carry? Don't keep that secret in the shadows. Step into the light and share your story in the comments below. Let the world know that you are not alone on this journey of self-conquest. And if you are ready to turn your mind into an unbreakable fortress, hit that subscribe button for modern Invictus Stoic wisdom. Together, we will train, we will fight, and we will become the most invincible versions of ourselves, one day at a time, until wisdom becomes as natural to you as your very breath. Welcome home, to the fortress of your own mind.